What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got a super rare Luffy to be talking about from the upcoming One Piece set. It's looking pretty good. Summit Battle OP-02 is coming. We are in spoiler season, so you know what? This seems like a pretty good time to be having a look at some super rares. And we're going to do what we do. It works with Digimon on this channel as well, where super rare comes out. Let's take a good look at the super rare, because they do tend to be the best cards. And then while we're here, we'll have a quick roundup of other cards of the same color. So yes, we're talking Monkey D. Luffy here mainly, but we're going to have a little roundup while we're here of other cards of the same color, because I don't know why not. So what we've got here is a super rare Luffy, and oh yeah, we've got the alternate artwork here as well. Oh, the alternate arts in this game are so good. They are so good. If you're thinking, hang on a second, that looks a little bit familiar, you will notice that the artwork here is basically the same that we see on the front of the booster pack. So yes, the artwork does look familiar. It really should. So what we've got here is a 6-cost 7,000 power on play. And when attacking, you may trash 2 cards from your hand, return up to 1 cost 4 or lower character to its owner's hand, and then this character gains double attack during the turn. So when I'm telling you like that the super rares tend to be the better cards, that's not me just giving undue weight to the super rares. That's me just telling you what the deal is. The super rares do tend to be the better cards. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on here, but one thing which I think is very important here is you are returning a cost 4 or lower to its owner's hand. Now that's really, 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 really important, because it is not one of your cards or one of your opponents, it's either. And that is way better. This is like the perfect scenario, because what you can do is return one of your opponent's cost 4 or lower characters to their hand to slow them down, get rid of a blocker so that you can have a little bit of fun and, you know, not be blocked, get rid of one of their support characters, get rid of one of their attack, whatever it might be, you can get rid of one of them, and that's lovely. What you can also do here, however, is return one of your characters to your hand that's got a nice play skill, for argument's sake. So, for instance, Jinbei, the one from OP-01, on play, you place a character of a cost of 3 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. So this is just a nice example. It's a 4 cost, so you pick this one up, and then either now or when you've got enough resources to actually pay for it, you play it back down, and you place a character of a cost of 3 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. Again, yours or your opponent's, whichever one you actually want to go for. And that's what I love about this. Either you pick up one of your characters so that you can then reuse that skill later on. That's good. Or you pick up one of your opponent's characters, or they make them pick up their own character, so that they then don't have access to it to use it for, the next turn or two. Either way, this is pretty good, and I kind of love it. And remember, it's on play, and it's when attacking, and it does not say once during your turn. What that means is you can do it when you play, and then you can do it when you attack, and then you can do it next turn when you attack. Now, do remember there is that, it's a fairly large downside, I'm going to be honest with you, but there is that downside that you do need to trash 2 cards from your hand. You're not always going to be able to do so, although blue does look like it's got a bit better draw than your average color. But my point is, if you've got a bit of a draw engine, and remember, we are early in this game, just because we don't have the draw engine you want now does not mean we're not going to have the draw engine you want in the future. We've got that dual color Crocodile Leader that Don X1, after you activate an event, you can draw a card if you have 4 or less cards in your hand and haven't done it already. And then we got stuff like Boa Hancock from OP-1, which has got blocker and Don X1 when attacking or blocking. Draw a card if there are 5 or less cards in your hand, or 5 or fewer cards in your hand. So blue have got some draw power, and it does seem to be that it's going to keep going. So you know what? Maybe, ladies and gentlemen, maybe this is what we're doing here. Maybe we can get a nice draw engine going with blue, and then start taking advantage of things like this. That could be fun, ladies and gentlemen. That could be an awful lot of fun. Point is, you can use it multiple times, and you can get characters to you, characters to your opponent, and I don't need to tell you how good double attack is. And what I really love here, play this, make your opponent pick up a blocker, and then you're attacking, make an opponent pick up a blocker. They've gone from 2 blockers to 0 blockers, and then you've got double attack. And 7,000 power, just to be clear, not too shabby. I like this. Now, in terms of other blue cards we can be looking at, we've got ourselves Buggy. 1 cost, 2,000 power, counter plus 1,000. When you play, look at the top 5 cards in your deck. Reveal up to 1 blue Impel Down card other than Buggy and add it to your hand. For anyone that's wondering, yes, the new monkey we've just looked at is an Impel Down card, so you can get this using Buggy. It's a 1-cost card that lets you potentially get a card out of your deck. This is very, very, very good. This is the kind of thing we see all the time in Digimon seeing a bunch of play. It's a very cheap card. And sure, it's not going to do much in terms of attacking unless you really start buffing it up, but it's a 1-cost card that can then search out a card you want more. Yeah, this is a very good card that I do expect to see play in blue Impel Down decks. Now, we talked about Boa Hancock a moment ago. She's back. 4 cost, 5,000 power, adorable dragon, 1,000 power, counter, and when attacking, draw a card, trash a card from your hand, and then trash up to 3 cards from your hand. So look, this is one of those situations where if you want to be playing from the discard, this is going to be a very good card. Or I showed you the leader Emporio Ivankov earlier. At the end of your turn, if you have 0 cards in hand, draw 2. So this is the kind of thing where if you don't have the cards you want in your hand at the moment, then you just discard all the cards in your hand, and then you can draw 2 from Emporio and hope you draw into the one you actually want. As a nice example, this is not the kind of skill you just use willy-nilly. However, if you've got a specific reason like that leader or playing from the trash, it's really good. And do remember, you can still just draw 1 card, trash 1 card, and then choose not to trash anymore, and that's really very good. I like this one as well. This one's pretty cool. Again, is an Impel Down card. I'm just going to ruin the surprise for you, right? All of the ones we're looking at here, all of these characters, and the event card we're going to finish off with, these are all Impel Down, which, you know, relevant for things like Buggy. Now, Mr. 2 Bonclay Bentham, 5 cost, 5,000 power, counter plus 2,000. We like counter plus 2,000. And Don X1, when attacking, you may trash a card from your hand, return up to 1 cost 2 or lower character to the bottom of its owner's deck, and then when this battle ends, return this character to the bottom of its owner's deck. Okay. I mean, look, this is kind of interesting. It's kind of cool, right? Essentially, you are getting a 2-cost character off the board. That could be your own. That could be your opponent's. Again, it's going to the bottom of its owner's deck. So you might have used something like Buggy, not want it on the field, and then put it back into your deck so you can use it again later, as an example. Or get rid of one of your opponents, whatever it might be. And then this character goes to the bottom of its owner's deck. It's fine. But I'll be honest with you, Don X1 and trashing a card, and then it's going to the bottom of its owner's deck. It's alright. Not one that's filling me with a lot of joy. Now, Mr. Free Galdino comes in, 4 cost, 5,000 power, counter plus 1,000, and it's got blocker. And at the end of your turn, you may trash a card from your hand to set this card as active. So again, we've got trashing from your hand, which apparently Blue are loving lately. But as I've explained to you, Blue do have a little bit of draw, so this isn't terrible. And this is end of your turn. So what you can essentially do is trash a card and then immediately draw up with Emporio if that is your leader of choice. That is actually pretty cool. I do like that. Because essentially, the cards you discard, assuming you're going low enough in hand size, of course, is immediately getting replaced, and that's very good. And you've got blocker, and you're setting yourself to active at the end of your turn. And essentially, this sets up, it's a combination of blocker and reboot in Digimon. What we do is we block, and then obviously we become active on our turn, and then we attack on our turn, but then we use this skill to become active at the end of our turn so we can block on our opponent's turn, and then we block on their turn and we become active, and we're just attacking on our turn, blocking on theirs, attacking on our turn, blocking on theirs, and this works beautifully, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely beautifully. And then we finish off with the zero-cost event, Gum Gum Rain. It is a counter. You may trash a card from your hand, yet apparently blue have no respect for their hand in this set. Your leader, or up to one of your characters, gains 3,000 power during this battle. And I don't need to tell you at this stage, gaining 3,000 power is extremely strong. That is a lot of power. That is, quite frankly, something you're probably going to be wanting to do. So yay! This is good. But it does have a trigger as well if it comes out as your life. Return up to one character with a cost of 2 or less to the owner's hand. And as I've been explaining in this video, this applies to either your character or to your opponent's character. So you can get one of yours back to play to take advantage of a skill. Or you can get one of your opponents and then they're not actually out ready to be used. Either way, this works pretty gosh darn nicely. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. This Luffy looks absolutely great. It looks like a very, very strong card. And we've got some other blue here that could be quite a lot of fun as well. But keep an eye on this Luffy. This Luffy looks ridiculous. For now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about this. I want to know how excited you are. I want to know anything you want to tell me. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord and chat with us, all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.